In the last session, we explored how to set up a DBT project from end to end. Now, we are good with the DBT environment. We are moving forward. Today, we try to understand how to create a first DBT model. Before we do that, it's important to understand why a DBT project has these many particular structures. Why are there so many files and folders? What is the purpose of each layer? In today's episode, we will answer these questions and understand the importance of the DBT project's structure. Welcome back to VJ Tech Talks. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and support me. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you will never miss any upcoming videos. In fact, the series of end-to-end project videos. Let's get started. As you know that in the previous session, we executed the dbt debug command. Let me show you. Here we go. In the last session, we have executed dbt debug command. If you look at here, everything was successful. Whatever they required, profile.yml files and dbt project is not found. Everything was success, but except dbt project.yml file is missing. What is the importance of this one? But if you look at this side, here we go. Here already we have a file dbt project.yml. But if you look at this error message, it is saying that this file is not found. Interesting, right? Interesting. We'll try to understand why this happened. Before we understand about this file, I would like to make you understand all these folder structures, and also you have many folder structures. See how many you have: seeds, you have snapshot, you have test, you have what is this all files actually: main.py, properties.yml and .yml file. Lot of files we have. Then what is the importance of each one of this? Let's try to understand each one of these files, and then we'll try to build our fast DBT model. Okay, I have prepared slides for this for better understanding. Let me walk you through the slides. As you know that every DBT project, remember one thing, every DBT project that starts with dbt project.yml file only. What is the importance of this file? How this basically it acts? It is part of that our project, but even then it is showing the error. Why? Let me switch to this actual our project name. We will switch to this actual project name, then try to execute the same dbt core command. Now, if you look at here, where we are now inside our project. Now, let me try to execute dbt debug. We'll see whether are we getting the same error or not. It started and trying to find the Databricks adapter and trying to make the connection. All checks passed. See, this time all checks passed. Ensure that we are inside this project directory. See, if you look at here, earlier we were this part. Now we are under this part. See, that is what the difference. Now it is clear. The reason behind that, we have executed dbt debug command outside of our project. That's only the difference, nothing else. So what exactly this dbt project.yml file, what it does, we will try to understand. What we will be covering in this today's episode, we'll try to understand, as I said, that every file, folder, why do we need it in the DBT project? How basically, we are keeping the data, and what exactly we are deleting, where exactly we are configuring, what we are trying to achieve, and what are the major four components the, behind every model that we are trying to understand in today's episode. As I said that, and DBT project at AML, it's a heart of any DBT project. It's a start point of any DBT project. This one just acts like as a our Databricks notebooks, or something like if you're working in ADF or any ETL, it's a kind of a pipeline where it will just acts like as a metadata, where you will keep all the instructions, where exactly we should take the data, where exactly you should pass, what are the just we are giving the directions to the project execution. That if you look at here you have the folder structures, right? And it's a project name, you have under this project, and you have a model dbt aml file. If you look at, if I open this file, see, if you look at here we have specified our project name and the profile name, and as well as here we have specified the where exactly model path, analytics path, analysis path, and the testing path, and seeds and macros, and also you have a snapshot path. See, everything is defined here clearly. It is like, and if you open this file, basically you will understand that what is the where exactly these files are located. Easily you will understand by looking at this file. This is the start point. Whenever you execute any project, and it's from here it picks up, and then it will connects all the dots. That's what it is, the file importance. Now let's move on to the next file, model. See, this is the model, right? Under this model, you have an example. This by default, we have created the moment you initiated this project creation, the structure. This by default, you will have the basic, the example models to understand how basically it looks like, right? This is the core part of any project. Let's say this one is the heart of this project. This is the complete functionality. 99% of the functionality, like in a project implementation, under this model folder. Under this directory, we will create a staging model and silver model and gold model. All models we will create under the models. See here how typical this is, how it is looks like. And you have that your models typically looks like here under this model only, staging model and silver and gold models, all we will implement under this model directory. Now next, what exactly it deletes, it's these files is not necessary for us, these are all the sample, right? For now just I'm deleting, I don't want to keep these files. Just I'm deleting all this example folder itself, I'm deleting. It's not required for us. Okay, this example is not required for us for now. Just I'm deleting this complete example. So for now I have deleted all the example folder. Then move on to the schema.yml. What exactly it does, the schema.yml file. The many of the people, they think that schema.yml means just we are defining the all the stable schemas and structures and all. But ideally that is not the case here. In dbt, what happens here in the schema.yml file, let me create one for us. What exactly it is this. Okay, what is the use of this file? Here basically in the schema.yml, this is not about a table structure, table schema. It's about documentations, testing. It's about, you will have the all the column definitions, and also constraints like a null constraints, not null constraints, and primary key constraints, one key, whatever it is, like you if you have something that specific conditions, and those kind of things we will define under the schema.yml. No worries, we will look into it. For now, just try to understand what exactly the schema.yml file. Here, macros. Why do we need macros? Macros are pretty much, just think of this, macros are pretty much, it's a reusable component. It's like it acts like as a functions. Like if you write a function once and you can reuse across your program. I was saying here, right? The test also can be under the schema.yml. Then what is this test all about? This test folder is basically something that is a business test. It's specific to your business. Here also you can write the test, but those tests are very generic test. I will help you out, like there are different types of tests in the DBT, and I can help you out what those are. There are two types of test types, and I can help you out. This is the generic test. It's a custom test. Next, move on to the snapshot. Its snapshot is pretty much, it's for all the, I'm expecting all the data engineers must know this concept. Incremental load, right? SCD type 1, SCD type 2. That how basically the functionality of SCD type 1, as you know that like an SCD type 1, SCD type 2. Now next, seeds. Here you have another thing, we call it as seeds. What is the use of seeds? Seeds is, it's a static data you need across complete business. If you have a CSV files, if you have a Excel files, just I have some data, that data once I want to keep the data into CSV files here, that data I will refer for, I mean across all my models. Let's say I want to just capture my movie ratings only specific to the country, specific to the region. I don't want to specify manually that region name or country name. Rather, what I can do is I will keep those data into my files, .csv files. I will refer in my filter conditions, these seeds. That's it. As simple as that. You don't need to, every time you don't need to hard code. Analysis. This ad hoc SQL, it's basically, it works for the analyst. Basically, most of the analysts, like business users, they used to write the some custom SQLs to understand whether these models are bringing the actual data for the business or not. That's what the analysis. You can write your own SQL to keep under this analysis folder, and then you can execute that and try to understand the whether that required data is bringing or not. Next, this is what it is. Once the moment you execute the complete DBT project, this is what it happens. It creates a log file. As I was showing that, like the log file earlier, it was not there. It's very, very important for debugging. This, if you don't edit this file, never ever edit this file. This file creates automatically whenever you are executing a program, that creates the log for your, okay, the readme.file. It's a pretty much, it's a documentation and target. I will show you that how to create the project documentation. Have all these compiled sequels and manifest, lineage, and everything under this target folder. You will get it. You need to create here the targets that we will create later, later stages. Yet to create that target, we didn't even create. The couple of files we didn't even create. I will show, as I said, that we will create one after another. Then you will understand what is the importance that, okay, practically we will see this. Now next, so there is a one more thing is package.yml. If you look at here, we don't have that package.yml file. So far I didn't even create. The package.yml, basically what it does is, like if you have any dependency packages, like other environments, Python or any other environments, how you will import the packages, how you will install the packages. Similar way here in the DBT also. Profile.yml, this is very crucial. This is, we will not commit this one to any GitHub. It's very, very crucial. Profile.yml. Here sensitive data, it holds the profile.yml file. Let's move on to the next, where we are heading now. As I was saying that we are building our DBT models for our end-to-end Netflix project. The next, as I was saying that there were four major concepts that we must know, that most of the models we use these four concepts only in all the implementation across our dbt implementation. What is the source of the file, from where we are bringing the file, what exactly the reference, like from where you are referring, that you are defining somewhere, just you are referring that model into your, and you are defining the what is the materializations, and it's kind of a table, or it's a view, or it's a incremental data, what sort of materialization we are doing that. And then in schemas, basically, as I said, that's a generic test, right? The moment once you complete all these steps, this is what it is typical, it looks like. It's a DAG. Okay, directly you can look into this one, like from what is the source of this one, what is the reference models we have created, what is the silver layer we have created, what is the fact layer we have created, how the data is traversing, how the data is going into the downstreams from the upstream. That clearly you can visually you can see this one. That is the beauty of dbt. You no need to struggle to understand from where exactly this particular column data is come from. Don't even worry about this one. That is the beauty of GPT model. Then the next, as I said, that now we are comfortable with our GPT terminology. Why do we need this? Why do we need this? Why do we need this? Why do we need? Why do we need? Why do we need this? And all, now we are, most of them we are aware of it. Now we will try to build our first GPT model. Okay. So if you are still confused of these structures, why do we need all these things, just do let me know. Feel free to ping me and I will help you out. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do subscribe and support me. In the next video, we'll try to implement our first dbt model for our project, staging Netflix movies sequel. Why do we need staging also? We'll try to understand. Okay. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Until then, see you. Bye bye.